The Washington Wizards avoid the sweep from the 76ers. What a game last night. And I'll be the first one to say, as a Wizards fan, if Joel Embiid did not get hurt, we would have lost. But we didn't. They took full advantage of the injury. Hopefully it's nothing serious. And Game 5 is going to be really interesting. You don't want to let us come back to DC. If there's a Game 6, you already know there's going to be a Game 7. And the most Wizards thing to do would be to force a Game 7 and then to lose that Game 7. What if that happened? But the NBA playoffs are here. It's been crazy. And it's so funny to see how bad the Eastern Conference is compared to the West. Every series out West is competitive. It's all tied 2-2 except for the Utah Jazz and the Memphis Grizzlies. And then in the East, you have a sweep from the Bucks. You have the Nets about to win their series. The Sixers should have swept the Wizards if Joel Embiid did not get hurt. He's been unstoppable this series. And I just wanted to come on and talk about my Washington Wizards, because I thought the series was going to be over, but it's not. And I might start doing this a bit more, coming on here talking about the NFL and NBA. I'm a big sports fan, but everyone did their thing last night. Rui Hachimura went off. Russell Westbrook. I've been seeing Russell Westbrook. He did not shoot the ball that well, but he still had an impact. 21 rebounds, another triple-double. Got to the free throw line a lot. Bradley Beal, he went to work. And this shows how important Joel Embiid is to the Sixers. Without Joel Embiid, they're a totally different team. He's been unstoppable. No matter what the Wizards try to do, he could not be stopped. When he gets double teamed, all he does is fade away, go baseline, pass it out to his shooters. Harris, Danny Green is hitting shots. Seth Curry. And Ben Simmons. Doc Rivers was getting mad yesterday during the interviews, but Ben Simmons, he kind of choked last night. This was his chance to put the team on his back, and he came up a bit short. And it's funny, the Wizards were doing hack of Ben Simmons last night because he can't hit free throws that well. And he doesn't have a jumper yet. He's been in the NBA a handful of years, and he still doesn't have a jumper. What part of his game does he work on in the offseason? You have Seth Curry on your team. Just go to him and say, hey, can you teach me how to shoot better? You have Joel Embiid, a center out there like a point guard, ball handling skills. He has post moves. He can hit the three, and you're still struggling with your jumper. That's embarrassing. But Ben Simmons, if he ever does find that jumper, he is going to be scary. Scary. Because right now he acts like a young LeBron. He runs downhill hard, getting in the lane, getting easy baskets, easy assist. Game 5 is going to be hard. It's going to be hard. Going back to Philly, I think they're going to have a full crowd for the first time. It's going to be unbelievable. You know that they're going to want to close it out there at home. I don't know if Joel Embiid is playing yet, so it might be over in 5, and if it is, you got to give it up to the Wizards. Fighting back after a terrible start to the season. They started 17-32. Beal was putting up crazy numbers, crazy games, but they kept on losing. But then they go on a mean run to end the season, and they get the 8th seed. So you know what people say, we don't congratulate teams and people who get knocked out early. But in my eyes, and for many Wizards fans, this should be viewed as a successful year. It looked like they were heading to the lottery, but instead they're in the playoffs. They won a game, so I'm not mad. They should be an interesting team the next couple of years. If they can add a few more pieces alongside Beal and Westbrook, they could be a top 4 seed easily. The East is weak. I mean, you have the Nets, the Bucks, and the Sixers. And now you have the young Atlanta Hawks starting to gain a bit of traction. The Knicks. I'm a big fan of Julius Randle, but he's what the bed this postseason. He's played like trash, averaging 15 points a game. I thought they were going to win that series. I feel bad for Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is one of those players who I want to see win a title. He had so much potential, but then the injury and everything happened. So players like him, I have no problem seeing win a championship. And speaking about winning championships, the Wizards, they had a window. They had it. They had a window with John Wall and Bradley Beal to make some noise. I'm not saying they could have won a title, but they could have made it to the Eastern Conference Finals to play LeBron James, and who knows what happens. They had a couple years where they had good teams, and then they just got bounced out. That series against Boston, that was such a good series. They were down 0-2, but then they forced a 7-game series. John Wall had that crazy 3 in Game 6, but then they lose Game 7 in Boston to Kelly Olynyk. Kelly Olynyk, I remember that. He went off that game, and that performance is what got him a big contract in free agency. Let's be honest. Teams saw that potential and they were like, yeah, we got to sign this guy. They lost to the Pacers in the semis one year. They lost to the Hawks one year with Paul Pierce. John Wall got injured that series, his wrist. But you see what I'm trying to say. They had a lot of opportunities to make it far, make a deep playoff run, but it just didn't work out in their favor. But they could be entering another stretch where they have an opportunity to make some noise if they play their cards right, if they make the right moves. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And it's an exciting time if you're a basketball fan. We've had basketball pretty much nonstop since last July. We had the bubble. The season ended in October. This season started in December and ends in July. And then after the NBA is done, we go straight into the NFL preseason. So it's such an exciting time as a sports fan in general. Those are my 2 favorite sports. So I'm all for it. I'm going to be enjoying these next couple months a lot. And before this video ends, I know this happened a while back, but I got to say congrats to Brody. Congrats to Westbrook. This man gets a lot of hate. I'm a big fan of Westbrook. I'm always entertained. Even when he plays bad, it's fun to watch because he goes so fast. He plays so hard. So you gotta show love to Westbrook, passing Oscar Robertson, the most triple doubles in NBA history. He's done it so often, it's almost like people don't care about it anymore. They don't care about the triple double. He's devalued the triple double. I've always been a fan of John Wall. He's done a lot for DC on the court, off the court. But the Wizards definitely finessed the Rockets. They won that trade. It's not even a question. Russell Westbrook has a lot more left in the tank than John Wall.